I have finally bought a Honda Civic with a K20 engine of my own. In today's video, we're going to take a closer look at the car. We're gonna go for a first test drive, tell you about our plans, maybe unveil also some of the first mods. But first of all, the question, Misha, of all the cars you could buy, especially for the Nürburgring, why on earth would you go for a 30-year-old Civic? Well, I am fortunate enough to drive close to 500 cars a year. So over the last years, I've driven thousands of cars on the Nürburgring. And the main question I get from many of you is, of course, what is the best car for the Nürburgring? Now, one thing is what is the best car, and the second one, what is the car that makes me as a driver smile the most? And I have a top three. I have a Porsche GT3, I have a BMW E46 M3, and my absolute number one is golden era Honda Civic with a K20 engine in it. Because it's lightweight, it has great suspension geometry, it has all the driver involvement that you can do heel and toe, left foot braking, banging gears. You have all the emotion from a K20 engine. It makes me smile like no other car does. And also, it makes many of you smile because every video that we do with a K-swapped Civic or a simply K-engine Civic, it gets a lot of views. And I think it actually all started when I drove a EP3 following another Civic EF on the ring. Right now the video has almost 1.5 million views, and actually to celebrate that we released new merch that actually goes back into that, so check out the link in the video description for that. We have hoodies, we have shirts, etc, etc. But over the last, I would say I've been looking or started already looking for a Civic of my own for a year, maybe a bit longer. And as mentioned, I really prefer the golden era Civic, so the EK or the EG, but I wanted to have something special. In this case, we have here a Civic EJ1 that many of you know from Fast and the Furious. So maybe one day we can put green neon underglow on it and drive the 24 hours of Nürburgring with it. Who knows? We will see. That would be wild. It also offers opportunity to mount a spoiler. As you know, because of Vulcan Alpha, we would like to make something special for it. So this is why I wanted to have an EJ1. So as mentioned, was looking through lots of offers all over Europe, Luxembourg, Netherlands. I even looked at some examples from the States because this is a US model and actually has been imported from US. Finally, found a car that I liked, contacted the owner, ran a car vertical check to make sure that I had all the history of the car, that everything was correct, that there were no hidden snakes under the grass, etc. And everything seems to be legit. And by the way, car vertical check is a check that will offer you the full history of the car. All you need is to have a reg plate or the VIN number of the car, and you can see how many previous owners it had, whether the car was involved in the accident. So we with all the previous cars that we have purchased, we're doing these kind of checks. In case of the Golf, we had 15 previous owners. In case of RSQ3, we saw that the car was definitely damaged, and this was fully legit. And some Civics were not so legit, as you can see. And sometimes also, if the car is not totaled, like in case of the RSQ3, you might even get to see how much it would cost you to repair the actual damage. Long story short, to make sure that you pay the right price for the car you're buying, make sure to run a car vertical check. And by using code Misha, you get 20% off your car vertical check. And if there is no report available for your car, you get a credit. All right, let's kick off our very first video about my 2025 and hopefully beyond track tool, ring tool, track car, race car, who knows where we're gonna end up, the Honda Civic EJ1 with K20. We're gonna start with the moment when I received the car on a trailer delivered to Vulcan Alpha. That's not a Civic, that's a Civic. Also extra exhaust, whoo, sick. How much downforce is that gonna be?
For now, 0, but...
What do you mean 0?
in a bit?
In a bit? How much bit?
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be lots of fun, yes. Well, first of all, big thank you to Hans for making this possible, because the car was like 500 kilometers away from here, which happened to be like 10 minutes away from your house. And like, well, I'm gonna like just pick it up, and I need to be around Nürburgring every 2 weeks anyway. So yes, it is now here, freshly delivered, and after having a close inspection or like first look, it seems to be like one of the cleanest Civics I've ever seen in my life. It's really, really, really that shiny. Of course, it has some usage spots, but I mean, which car of this age does not have it. So a few spots here, here and there. I wonder if those are like real BBS. Whew, full stance. Look at the inside as well. So clean. That's insane. It's almost too good to track it. Only a few usage spots, but who cares? Who cares? Oh, look at that. It actually has a certified exhaust for EU. So I guess it's street legal. Well, it is fully street legal for now, but I think in a few months it's going to be off the plates because we're gonna go quite extreme with it. That we will tell you in probably upcoming video. For now it's just like a walk around, and maybe we're gonna do a first drive. Still need to get the plates for the car, but that's going to happen. I don't know, why am I actually closing it? Because let's have a look what's underneath. Look at that! A Testarossa. Nice. Ooh, wow. It already has like some different exhaust manifold.
Yeah, it's a 4-in-2, 2-in-1, which is good for an 8 power.
Nice. Guess we can just get the different intake. Oh, it has different radiator already. Wow.
Actually, the stock intake is pretty good on NAs.
To be fair, what I have learned in the past or like over the years is that pretty much no one can change the intake better than the manufacturer itself, because they spend much more time than anyone else would be. So we will definitely have some ITBs. Yeah, this is actually interesting. Yeah, I see that actually that all the car has lots of these like Skunk 2 racing bolts, not only here, like every there. Also, like I saw it in the fender when you open the door. So it's like the car has received lots of love. It's a proper race car already. New linkages for the gearbox. That's also very good. Very nice. Oh, look at that, braided lines for, what's that? Is it a clutch cylinder or brake cylinder?
Clutch, I think.
Yeah.
Hybrid racing.
Yeah, no, the brakes have steel lines, the factory ones.
Yeah, that's factory. But let's see what... we'll put it on the lift later and have a look. But it looks so far...
Sound of America.
Very nice. Well, I mean, those are US made because Fast and the Furious, so it had to be. They sold them also in...
Hybrid racing,
Hybrid
fuel
racing.
rail.
Hello there. Nice.
Tasteful mods.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's also on...
See, this radiator is aluminum.
Also
Yeah.
hybrid racing.
That's good. KW V3s, I've been told. We'll go for something more track oriented. The steering rack looks very nice and clean, so that's nice. Whew.
Man, I'm so jealous. You bought a nice car.
And I'm gonna do my utter best not to have it end up like the Speedster in 2 pieces. Alright, should we fire it up and let's see the first start. Oh, my first start. 3, 2, 1. Unlike the most new cars that I was picking up or buying, this comes more than empty tank. So shout out to Philip, the previous owner. First of all, make sure that your driver position is correct. This seems to be okay, but I'm sure I'll get more adapted and adjusted and more refined over the next few days, laps, and you name it. So first drive, what a beautiful sunny day we have today after days of grayness and so a proper day to drive when you baby EJ1. Yeah. Woo. It's very sunny. First impressions, I hear some vibrations, so I feel some vibrations, so I think the car has like sturdy engine mounts. The gearbox, really good. Doing 5th, 4th, 3rd. I'm happy with vibrations, that they go also through the steering wheel. This means that the engine is really tight on it. It feels already quite good. Yeah, sounds good. I'm so excited to take the car out for the first laps, to build it as I would build a Civic, with all the mandatory suspension mods, and then optionally, of course, also some aero bits, and then also the engine. We're doing the first tunnel run. I think the engine needs to warm up a bit more for that. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm super happy that the car so far is really good. Everything feels as it should feel. Let's go maybe through our tunnel at ED. This is just 5,000 RPM just to feel the car out, etc. Feels very good. There's something in the trunk rolling. Should better check it out. But for the rest, all it seems to be fine. Don't like the shifter because there was supposed to be fourth, but it's set up more to the left. So if in neutral position I pull it down, it goes to second instead of fourth. So I need to pull more right when I go to fourth. And this is, hello? This is third, but supposed to be fifth. Something is off. Maybe we need to check the shifter cables or something. We'll have a look later. Let's do a tunnel run for now. Not bad, not bad. Straight under braking, so that's good. It's always good to do a test drive after you buy the car, right? Oh, look at that, there is something on the track actually right next to us, so I guess they're preparing for the season. Who knows what they're actually doing. The brakes are okay, quite soft. I wouldn't want to do a lap on a stock setup like it is now because the pedal feels soft. The brake performance is also not what I would really like. So we're gonna do definitely an upgrade pretty much instantly for the season. Like a small upgrade, maybe like a OEM Plus brake system from a DC2, unless it already has something from a DC2. And then followed, the engine is very responsive, that I like. And then followed by a custom big brake kit. Let me actually pull it into the, what's it called, ticket office here and see if I can buy a lap ticket. No, see what's happening in the trunk, because something is very loose. Ah, the air filter and the drive shafts. Maybe we should take them out before sending the car. Oops. Alright, while we parked up here, let's do maybe a quick additional walk around after first impressions. Funny how I always tell people, make sure that the trunk is completely empty before we go for a lap. In this case, it was not a lap, but the first drive, and it was full of stuff. Now, the previous owner was extremely embarrassed / ashamed for his wooden creation of this battery holder, so this is definitely one of the first things that we're going to fix. Other than that, the first impressions are amazing. The car drives straight, there is nothing loose, it brakes straight, the engine is really healthy under acceleration. From what I've heard, the car was a show car most of its life, and the previous owner never drove it even in the rain, and that actually shows. It's even too good to become a race car. But then again, if you take a bad version of a car to become a race car, you're going to be annoyed because the car will be unusable, full of rust, and etc, etc. So in this case, this will be definitely my track tool for 2025 and the ring tool, and who knows, one day maybe we'll even drive 24 hours of Nürburgring with it. Now, what else can I tell you? I already have wheels for it, because although these, I think those 100% reps BBS are kind of cute and all and stylish on this car and shiny, but for track purposes we're gonna go with 15-inch, so smaller in diameter, bigger sidewall, Dankang CRS of course as well, so for proper track purposes. The stance for now is okay, suspension for now is okay, but it will be replaced of course also very soon with something else with lots and lots of other mods. Let's just do one more check on the engine because we now kind of drove it. Let's see if nothing leaks after our first drive. First thing that I'm gonna definitely change is the bonnet, because it's extremely heavy. Well, everything looks good. Sounded healthy also very much. So the shifter cables, I think they installed wrongly. We need to double check them, but to be fair, I will be replacing a shifter by something else very soon as well. So that's, again, least of my worries. Intake, definitely want to get some proper VTEC intake noises, so that's coming up later. And yeah, everything looks healthy and good. Also, big shout out for the big radiator, that's always good. Definitely with additional performance, that's going to be nice. Usually Hondas have something extremely small, but now everything looks very, very clean. That's like half the weight of the car is on the front, on the bonnet alone. That's insane. This also, there are lots of... Am I already talking to you about the mods that I'm gonna install on the car? Might as well, it's nice weather, so why not? This of course gonna go because it's too heavy, but while we're at it, we're gonna replace the whole roof by carbon fiber, because I already have ordered cage from AST. It's being right now made, so it's gonna come to me, I don't know, in a month or so. And somewhere halfway through the season, we are going to install it, and while we install the cage, we're going to replace the roof by full carbon fiber version. Also the doors to compensate for the weight, and yeah, also all of this heaviness. So the goal eventually will be around 900 kilos with the car, with all the carbon bits and everything stripped out. I think it is pretty achievable without compromising too much on the safety. From this generation Civic, that should be very much doable. Lots of other suspension and brake mods, a lot of them will come immediately to help me going to get started for the season, and we have already lots of extreme mods in the planning as well for the car, but that I will keep it as a surprise, because a lot of it is also still works in development. I don't know what else to say. Maybe we can put the car in the lift and have one more look for you guys, but that's kind of it. At this point in the video, I probably haven't given it away yet, but as you can see, it's already with scanning dots, because the car has been completely scanned thanks to our partners ASAP. So we have the full body scan already, so we can start the test or like the design work for the Aero to be eligible for the 24 hours of Nürburgring in SP3 class.
There's a Honda in 2 bins, so it's basically Honda meet now.
We're looking for a new photographer and an editor, because Stan has just been fired.
Are those real BBSs, bro? I think they're like bamboo S's.
I just need a Wakaba sticker.
What?
Wakaba.
What's that?
It's this like green symbol that in Japan it symbolizes like a beginning driver, like watch out, and like all the JDM fanboys, they made this like this green thing as an air freshener or a sticker on all the JDM cars.
You need a sticker that says "My other ride is your dad." What? The certified Honda driver sticker.
Ah, okay, and then like a big window banner saying like locally hated. I actually am locally hated.
Can I steal your Recaros?
Once I get my own seats, sure.
What are you getting?
P1300 of Recaro. Podiums might be overkill because it's fancy, but nah.
These are overkill. And a freaking Honda seatbox, dude.
M50 is overkill in your shitbox. I think for now let's go back to Vulcan, put the car in the lift, and I'll tell you more the goal behind this. The car is already on the lift, and we have Lapo with us to take a closer look at the car. But first I want to tell you is that we also made a video for the second channel where we'll be unboxing lots of mods, talking to you through all the future plans, and also giving away a Civic Type R, because such a car is too good for me alone to have. So go check that video out, and now yeah, let's have a look what the car is all about from underneath, if there are any defects. But while we have it here, I want to point out a very important feature over here, namely a double wishbone front suspension. Yeah, since especially like Porsche, when they introduced the 992 GT3, they were raving about it, that it now finally comes with a double wishbone front suspension. An old Civic had it 30 years ago in this case, and even later. After the introduction of EP3, so I think the EK9 and EK4 were the last ones to have it, they went to the normal McPherson one, and also the rear you had a solid beam, whereas here you have actually multi-link suspension on the rear. So you can actually start from the back while we're here. You have some light with you. Here we go. So, many independent links.
Yes.
Ooh, I never noticed that I have actually hard race. What are those tow bars?
Oh yeah, true. I didn't see. Hard race. No, those is camber. I think.
Yeah.
It's a camber arm.
Yeah, because tow bar is...
Well, tow you do it from here.
Yeah, so that's the one.
Tow, camber, this is the main, this is a training arm. Well, it's a main suspension arm, and this keeps the position, and it's also the shock mount.
Yeah. So yeah, multi-link on the rear, everything looks okay-ish. The car already sits on KWV3s. I will drive with them around for a bit, and then I will swap them out for something more motorsport oriented. We will find out what later on. So what else can we see? The brakes are actually quite okay-ish.
Yeah, I think they're upgraded. Also the fronts. I was looking at the tire.
Yeah.
It definitely needs some tires, right?
Yeah. Well, we're getting Duncan CRS for it.
21. So they're not too old.
They're not too old. I've had worse, so it's still okay.
But it's remarkable how clean it is underneath. I mean, or it's been hiding really good because I see no rust.
True. It has also NVIDIA silencer, a very big traditional Honda exhaust.
And it sounds really good.
Yes.
For let's say for a muffled exhaust, it has all the resonators. It's loud but not too loud.
Yes.
It has a cat.
It does, which is very good. Well, obviously the car came with TÜV, so everything is road legal, so that is nice. Now, while we're standing here in the front, I noticed
There's a small leak.
There is a small leak. Something is dropping, so we're going to investigate it more in detail. The assumption was power steering fluid, but I don't feel any power steering, so maybe that's indeed power steering fluid.
Well, there is for sure oil leak from the oil sandwich plate. Which, yeah, or even on the top. We need to check, but it looks like it's coming from a sandwich plate. It's fine because we're gonna install a oil cooler.
Yes.
So that needs to be sorted out. But other than that, the car looks really sound. Oh, talking about suspension, you see here the double wishbones.
Yeah.
Which is it's particular to not to these cars, but to this era of cars, of having the secondary, let's say top A arm, really high up, and a really long hub. So you see it right there.
Yeah. Are those? No, those are not ABS hubs.
These are, yes,
actually.
this is an ABS, let's say...
yeah, well, it's an ABS
axle.
drive shaft. Yeah, axle. Yeah, exactly.
So we could do a bracket and put a sensor in it.
Yeah, because I want eventually to install Bosch Motorsport ABS, because, yes, of course, traditionally wise, any kind of...
Oh, there is also a mount for it, so...
There's a mount?
Yeah, right here. So you see there's two mounting points.
Oh, nice.
So it's...
Dude, that's
we just need to
sick.
Find
Perfect.
Here.
Because eventually I want to install Motorsport ABS on it. I know everyone thinks... Also in the back? Really? Perfect. Because of course true drivers don't need any driver assists. But why do all like GT3 cars and all the other cars have ABS? Because it makes sense, especially on a Nordschleife with the bumpy surfaces. That will definitely
So you need
come
to
on.
angle it there from here. You can see it, I think.
Where? Oh yeah. Well, I see the I see the shafts. If it could only focus on that
there
part.
You go.
Yeah. Well, there.
There you go.
Yeah,
there
perfect.
So,
amazing.
Yeah, it's already set up.
Fantastic. I'm really happy about that. It's gonna ease up lots of work.
Yeah.
So, anything else? I think it looks quite good. As mentioned, the car was fully scanned already, so there's still like scanning dots markers from ASAP. Yeah, but that's kind of it. Oh, one thing I really like is the tow hook on the rear, which is exactly on the middle and very well hidden.
Guess what?
What?
It's gonna get completely chopped off, so
yes.
I can't say bye-bye.
True. Yeah, well, I guess that's really it, because that's the first look of the car. I think now I need to finish with saying like what the plans are with the car, because I haven't really done it. Well, first of all, I want to enjoy the car in its current state in a very responsible manner on the Nürburgring, so this means driving TF, driving track days, and then at some point the car will lose its street legality. at least for the German market. So maybe we can even swap it for Dutch plates and, like, you know, not care about stuff. We could do that, but then we're still gonna have lots of questions. Anyway, what I want to say, at some point it's definitely gonna lose even street legality in any kind of country, and we're gonna go extreme. Ideally, I'm gonna build a car that is able to run 24 hours of Nürburgring, and when we're gonna do, we'll see, because we have right now, of course, great opportunity and commitments with Bilstein, which I absolutely love. We really need to finish that plan. Who knows, maybe something else gonna come up later on, but it's just a dream, like, you know, to have it going. And after that, we'll be able to turbocharge the car, to do all-wheel drive, to go time attack. This is again one of the reasons why I bought the Civic, because it offers so much potential to do all kinds of modifications to it. Because as mentioned, my top 3 would be a GT3 Porsche or a E46 M3. A Porsche GT3 is, what can you do to it? Suspensions, brakes, a bit of aero, and then that's kind of it. With this, there's lots of opportunities and problem solving involved. So anyway, on that note, I'm already talking too much. If you want to find out more, go check out the second channel video where we're going to be showing you a lot more about the car. And yeah, looking forward to driving this baby this season and sharing all the fun with you. But first, there's going to be lots of work involved to make it happen.
A lot.
A lot. That's not that bad, but
It is a lot.
it's not that bad. It could have been much worse, but need to give you guys a good example of what I find is important to have a good car. So like getting rid of the leaks, make sure we have good tires on, brakes, etc, etc. But that means you're gonna have plenty of stuff to watch. And please, all the Civic connoisseurs, tell me more what I should and should not do. Yep, so see you then. Bye-bye.